WTF Nation Radio. WTF Nation Radio.
This is WTF Nation Radio.
Everything stated on WTF Nation Radio is to be considered the opinion of the person that stated it, and not an official representation of WTF Nation Radio or U.S. Army WTF Moments.
Price does not include tax, title, or license. Some assembly required. Each item sold separately. Batteries not included. Objects in mirror are closer than they appear. If conditions persist, contact a physician. Individual results may vary. Keep out of the reach of children. Avoid prolonged exposure to direct sunlight. Keep in a cool, dark place. And
please enjoy the show. Shots.
I don't know shit about fuck.
Oh, and here we go, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Friday Night Freedom. My name is Koz, and this is WTF Nations Radio's presentation of Friday Night Freedom. We are the voice of U.S. Army WTF Moments, and we are glad that you're here. Mary has chimed in. She says, what did Mary say? She says, hello from an Army mom in Nebraska. Awesome. Great to have you on the show. Thanks for stopping by. We really appreciate it. We're not necessarily geared towards just talking to veterans and active duty people. It's basically anybody. I think this show connects to everyone. As far as the Army goes and military-ish type stuff. I mean, you'd really want to be on the Thursday evening shows with ICE. You know, it's mostly it's an active duty or it's more military related. This is Friday Night Freedom. We're kind of, we usually do kind of like a recap of current events in the news and stuff. It's kind of boring, but we try to make it fun. Monday is kind of Monday is kind of the same way. Tuesdays is Pop Culture Warrior, and we're gonna get shows on Wednesdays and Sundays. Wednesdays is going to be the Smoke Pit with Radar, and Sundays is going to be sports with Coach. Sports guy. God, I can't remember the name of the show. It's sports something. Sports is in the name.
Sports bar.
Sports bar. That's it. Sports bar.
Sports bar.
Sports bar. Sports bar. And those are going to start soon. Maybe. I don't know. I have no idea. I don't have a cut sheet. So they're going to start when they start. And everyone, if you guys like and follow WTF Nation Radio, you will get the alerts. I'm trying to move this here a little bit. So welcome everybody. Today's the 22nd of July, 2022. And damn, is it hot outside, right?
Yes, it is. Holy shit.
Normally it's like, you start a conversation, it's, hey, how about that weather? And it's like this really stupid, dead conversation, but that's
the fucking weatherman.
But that's what are you, fucking weatherman now? But man, it's making the news. It's not just the United States. It's kind of like everywhere. If you pay attention to the news, there's always like, hey, it's hot as hell in these three places. And then later on in the article, it's like, because the effects of global warming and blah, 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 blah.
Yeah.
Whatever, dude. I think it's just, and this is me. I'm not a denier. I mean, it may be, I am a denier because I kind of rely on facts. I think that the weather patterns in the world are very cyclical. You're going to have years that are hotter, years that are colder. So what are you going to do if the temperature in your summer doesn't reach 99 degrees? Is that a sign of it, like an impending ice age? No.
I mean, according to the 70s, it was same.
Because we have, here in north central Texas, dude, we had a 115 degree day earlier this week, and it was brutal. It was nasty. I didn't like it, and I was looking. I'm looking. I've got several computers. So what I've been doing is I've been hooking my computer up in front of me, and then networking to it, and then saying, okay, where are all my pictures and stuff? And a lot of the stuff, I don't throw anything away as far as electronics goes. So I've got laptops that I've had for years. So I'll have it.
Bad habit.
It is. It's really a bad habit. I can probably disassemble this laptop, drill a hole through the hard drive, and just say sayonara. I've got.
You never know when you need just a random Linux box, though, man. Come on, man.
No, I've got more. I've gotten rid of all of my desktops. The only desktop I have is the one that's behind me, the one that's driving the show right now. Everything else is laptops. Oh wait, no, I've got a mini. I've got a micro. What is that? Is that considered a?
Oh, you still got one of those?
Yes, I've got a micro, dude. I've got a super. Okay, we have a brand new lab at work, and the company is like, okay, if you don't need high processing power, we're just going to give you this lesser capable. You can't do CAD drawings on it. You can just kind of sign into the network. You can fill out your time. You can check email. I think it's sub Chromebook level type stuff. There's like you can't save anything. Everything that's on it, everything that's on it is all it is a processor, I think, and everything else is cloud based.
Oh yeah, okay, I see what you're saying with that.
So you don't need anything.
I had a couple computers where all I had to do was just like stick a thumb drive in the side of it. You know, like it had the operating system on there. It had no storage capability. So if I was doing any work, it was going straight onto the stick at that point.
So I think it's this mini. It's a micro. I can't even find cards for it. I wanted to upgrade the graphics card. They don't make an NVIDIA card for this. They do, but it's like stupid. It's not even worth it. But
you stick with standard ATX format, you're good to go at that point.
Yeah. So I'm gonna suck everything off of it that I need, and I'm gonna get rid of everything, drill a hole through the hard drive, and just recycle the rest of it. I've got a solid state drive on that guy. I'm gonna keep that. Everything else can just go. I keep everything. I shouldn't. I really shouldn't. I think I would have so much. My house would weigh a whole lot less if I didn't keep all of my old electronics. So here we are for Friday Night Freedom here on July 22nd, 2022. And we started off by talking about the weather. Normally that's just it's just like kind of, it's an empty conversation. You kind of, hey, how about that weather and stuff? Mm-hmm. And you don't really want to talk about it, but this is like a real thing. I guess we'll jump right into it. The latest extreme heat wave has hit the United States. It's showing no mercy. It really is showing no mercy at all. Leaving more than 105 million Americans in 28 states under heat advisories and excessive heat warnings from the National Weather Service. Temperatures of 115 degrees Fahrenheit have been recorded in Texas and Oklahoma. Dude, Oklahoma the other day, every weather station in Oklahoma was over 100 degrees. A lot of it was like 107 and above.
Yeah, today I watched the Weather Channel like an old man in the morning, but
oh yeah, I forgot that's like that runs like 24/7 in your house.
Yeah. So that and Discovery Channel or something else, or like Price is Right comes on. We watch Price is Right, but I saw like a headline. It was somewhere in California. It might have been Death Valley or some shit like that. It hit 122.
Well, that's not. Well, that's Death Valley, though.
Yeah, I mean it's Iraq weather.
So I think what I remembered I was going to say is, so I was looking through all of my old picture files, and I know I've got some from when I was in Iraq, and I've got a picture of, it was 11 o'clock in the morning. We were getting ready to break for lunch, our 11:30 lunch, and we have this dial thermometer sitting outside of the hangar that I worked at, and it was 125 degrees at 11 o'clock in the morning. And that was up in northern Iraq. So of course, it was probably 3% humidity, which does make a difference. We've been really lucky up here. I'm not sure. I know San Antonio's horrible. They got really, really, really super hot. Austin is hot. I think Killeen is super hot, but they've got higher humidity than we do up here. We've only been 15, 20%. So it's not too bad. It's really not too bad. You start adding humidity in with that heat, and it's just brutal.
I mean, most of the places in the United States are getting hit with the heat wave. We have AC, central air, and stuff like that. Like, I feel bad for the guys in UK though. Did you see that like story where they were like saying like, hey, gingers get free?
Oh yeah, I've got that. That's a part of our intro story.
Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to.
No, you're good. You're good.
But it's just crazy, like people in the UK, I do TikTok a lot, right? And there's this guy from the South, United States, Southern, and he was like, hey, if it gets real hot and your power goes out, this is what you can do: make a swamp cooler, blah, blah, blah. And people were like, I don't want to derail your conversation about the heat, but it's like these Europeans were coming in, bro. At least we don't have to worry about getting shot up going to the grocery store. And I'm like, what? But this guy's trying to tell you how to keep cool.
Oh, dude, yeah, you take a little styrofoam cooler, you put a fan in it, fill it with ice.
But apparently ice is not a big thing either. Like, well, not ice is ice, but
ice is always a big deal. He's always a big deal.
But I like solid water is not a big thing in Europe, from what people were saying.
Oh, they don't have a lot of ice there? You can't just go down to the grocery store and pay $1.29? I checked ice prices here. Ice prices here, you get an 8-pound bag of ice for $1.29. So it's not like it's
20 pounds for $2.
20 pounds? 20 pounds.
20 pounds of ice for $2.
Is
it automated ice machines where you just walk up, you throw $2 and there drops? Because we got contractors and all kinds of people working on. That's how you make your money down here.
We have when I go to work every morning, there's a AutoZone, and then there's this dilapidated strip mall looking thing, a Jack in the Box, and then in the middle of this parking lot, it used to be an ATM. They took the ATM out, and that power is used right now. There's an ice dispenser, so it's like Polar Ice. And you put in your credit card or whatever, and you buy ice. So, and there's always a line there. You know, all the contractors and they're filling all their coolers up with ice for a couple bucks. You're getting several coolers full of ice.
It's a steal. It's a steal at that point, but it works out because, you know, the machine's making it relatively cheap. I was actually thinking about going into this business down in Florida. When I was living down in Florida, I was like, man, I was like, I always see these like little things pop up. A line of contractors waiting to get some ice. I was like, man, I should get into that. And I looked into it. Pretty expensive to get into that.
Yeah, there's nothing. I mean, it's more than just paying for the cost of water, which isn't much. I mean, you've got to maintain that machine, and that's actually a food service. So you have to go through all of the licensing and sanitation processes for distributing ice, because they're just because it's ice and it's frozen doesn't mean that there's not some kind of
ice is food.
Ice is food. Ice is food. So if you're hungry, if you can't afford groceries, buy your family freaking ice chunks.
Yeah.
So we were talking about the UK, the United Kingdom. The United Kingdom is under a heat advisory as well. I think everybody's under a heat advisory. The United Kingdom is currently experiencing an extreme heat wave, and some of its infrastructure hasn't been able to cope. London's Luton Airport, a hub for low-cost flights, had to suspend departures and arrivals on Monday after the heat caused a small section of the runway to buckle. The shutdown was cleared up by early evening. So I looked into the like how the hell do you clear up a buckled runway? So by what they mean by it was cleared up, it meant that several flights had to be diverted or they were like altogether canceled. I guess the runway is still jacked up. Other forms of transportation are being affected as well. Network Rail has been warning the country's residents not to travel by train unless it's truly necessary, and it has slowed down or canceled service for some lines. The company said that engineers in Scotland had to install equipment to make sure that the electrical lines responsible for powering the trains didn't sag in the heat. And it also said that there was a signaling issue in Brockenhurst, which was a direct result of the hot temperatures. It gets hot. I mean, plastic expands and it just gets really soft. So whatever weight it's supporting is gonna come down.
People across the pond, welcome to an everyday life of living in Phoenix, Arizona.
Oh, dude, that you're like 18 feet from the sun, right? We did a show in Phoenix several years ago, 5 years ago, and it was right about Easter. It coincided with Easter Sunday, so we left on Easter Sunday, so it was Good Friday and that leading up. And dude, it was hot as it wasn't hot. It's just the sun was there, and you could feel it on your head. It wasn't that hot. It was probably 80 at the most, but dude, that sun let you know that hey, he's like, I'm looking at you, man. I'm looking at you.
It's like what's that video game? Mario 3. I used to make jokes about it all the time.
Yeah, where you're fighting the sun.
The sun's like, I was like, this is a typical day in Iraq where the sun is actively trying to kill you. Now it's like worldwide at this point. It's like, hey, look at the sun. It's trying to kill you.
Yeah. So I mean, don't worry, everybody. This is gonna pass. We're gonna survive all of this. And some other summer, it's like, hey man, this summer's not gonna be. It's not as hot. It's not 115 freaking degrees. It's 95 or it's 102. It was really weird because a friend of mine said, hey, I walked out, I took my kid to dance and we got out and it felt like it was cooler. And me and the kids were out there enjoying the park and whatever. And I looked at my phone and the temperature was 101, which was a whole lot cooler than it had been. So, I mean, if you're praising 101 degrees over 115, it's kind of like, go ahead.
No, I'm going to quote Kurt Decker, and he said apparently 1% of people in the UK have air conditioning.
I've heard that a big thing in the UK is they don't have their buildings aren't designed for cooling in this kind of temperature, and they don't have AC. As temperatures soar to dangerous heights across Britain, let's do this. Because box of water for sale, no lowballing. I know what I got.
I got an ice cube.
Temperatures.
I got a single ice cube.
as temperatures soar to dangerous heights across Britain, one movie theater chain is offering shelter from the sun for one particularly vulnerable group: redheads. Mm-hmm.
Them gingers.
Cinemas last week. It prompted Britons to tag their flame-haired friends and family members in the comments section so they wouldn't miss out on the offer to cool out in an air-conditioned venue among this national emergency. So redheads get a free movie admission in the UK, mm-hmm. And the offer is for redheads only. It ran from. Now, I don't know if this is this coming week or if this is this past week. It ran from the special ran from Monday to Tuesday when temperatures are expected to hit 40 degrees Celsius, which is about 104 degrees Fahrenheit. That's hot, dude. Oh my gosh. Research has found that people with pale skin, freckles, and red hair are more at risk for developing skin cancer due to their genes. Although heat of this scale is dangerous for anyone, hundreds of people have died in recent days as a punishing heat wave sweeps Britain, France, Spain, and Portugal. Did you see the fires in Spain and Portugal?
Yes.
The guy on the train, the folks on the train, flames to the left, flames to the right. What do you do? Train's not moving. Those guys were stationary.
Let's hope you don't get cooked like a potato.
What do you do? You can't get out and run. You're going to die. You stay in there. You're just going to die later. It's just, that's just a bad, mm-hmm. That's just a whole bad situation. Imagine, a lot of stress. My heart would be beating. Man.
Christopher Musil made a comment in the chat.
Oh, it doesn't matter. He's from Montana.
Well, he said, remember those cages of the warm water in Iraq and Kuwait, huh?
Dude, we would get pallets of water from Kuwait.
They would just drop them in the sun, and you'd have to get. But I'm gonna take it back a little bit here. It's like I had a friend of mine who thought he was gonna prank me while I was out on patrol, and I came back to my room. Of course, I had AC in my chew, so all right, cool, whatever.
Yeah.
He had stacked water bottles all through. I was like, this is a win at this point. Like, I've got cool water. It's not the sun. It's not boiling. I've got 70-degree water. He did me a favor. He thought he was playing a prank on me. I was like, he just did me a favor. I don't have to go get water for the rest of the deployment.
You know what's crazy about that is because of all the PCBs inside the plastic bottles, they're like, don't store this in the sun because the PCBs will leak out. Oh,
next class action lawsuit, man.
Were you in Kuwait? Were you in Iraq?
Were you in Afghanistan? Did you drink from a plastic bottle?
You may be entitled
to $25.
To $25. Yeah, class action lawsuit, $25. Everyone gets $25.
It's like today, speaking of which, I got a text from that Watts Guerrero or whatever. It's like 3M. You make sure you fill your 3M paperwork out.
Dude, I'm Facebook is nuts because every couple of weeks, I think it's about every 10 days or 12 days, 2 weeks ish, I'll start getting a new family of advertisements. Lately, it's been, oh my gosh, I can't.
Camp Lejeune?
There was Camp Lejeune water was some of it. Let me look. I'm going to pull this up over on a different screen.
I'm in South Carolina, so like it's close to Lejeune. So like every other ad right now when we watch local news, it's like, were you ever stationed in Camp Lejeune? You might be entitled to $25.
Let me see. Okay, Sports Zone. This Bring Her Home. The Griner. What's her name? Breonna Taylor, the girl who brought marijuana into Russia, got arrested for it, and all of a sudden it's like, we got to save her. That's one of them.
Find out, bring some damn wrong pills into some of these Middle Eastern countries, and you're going to spend the rest of your life in jail for it. Just saying.
Where is this? More stuff. More stuff. Railtech belts. I clicked on an ad for Railtech belts. So I've got, I got these endless ads for Railtech belts, which is awesome. I think Railtech belts are pretty good. I like them. Damn. Coke. A lot of Second Amendment type stuff, a lot of gun stuff. And it's all based on, what I surf during the day. So, but the thing is, if you find something that's relatively interesting and you click on it, you're going to see different posts for it for weeks and weeks and weeks and weeks.
Oh, this is modern advertising at this point.
It's that cookie thing. So I try to go out and clear out all my crap.
See, that's why I like those. Just randomly search some crap that I'm not interested in. So it like screws the algorithm up. It's like, why is this guy looking up flowers and blah, blah,
I should go
blah,
look up like wooden swing sets, A-frame swing sets, and then go look up how to convert to Christianity, and then like the next week how to become Jewish.
That will mess your TikTok up, though. That's the thing that pisses me off.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So like, it's like these things are so interconnected. Like, I looked up bees one day, and like my TikTok's mostly mill talk. Some other things like gardening, anime, things I'm interested in. But I started digging into something, and all of a sudden, like everything changed. I was like, "What the?" Because like when you first get on TikTok, it's nothing but thirst trap. Like
good looking, yeah.
Doing dances, and you got to filter through that. And once you start liking things, it starts understanding it at that point. But
it learns. No, it's an AI.
Yeah,
that's what it does.
Once you search something off the wall, it'll completely destroy your TikToks. Like, what is? I have no interest.
See, I'm looking at my I'm looking off screen here. I'm looking at my feed for my Facebook, and it's all dogs, it's cats, it's military related stuff, it's the pet things that I support, other veteran things that I support. It's just it's pretty benign. But then I go to my phone, and my phone is completely different. My feed when I go to my phone is completely different than that of my desktop. I think my desktop feed is pretty awesome. Tim Kennedy videos, helicopters.
So I've tunnel everything, like with everything else I run off my regular Wi-Fi, but when it comes to the laptop, I do everything through a VPN, and I change it up state by state every time I connect to it. And I never get targeted ads most of the time. It's weird. Of course, the FBI agent is watching my feed, is enjoying it. I'm making it a lot easier for him to be able to track what I'm doing.
And they're amused. They actually have a good day after looking at your feed. Hopefully. Christopher Measles says, how many Americans are still imprisoned overseas have yet to come home? I have no idea. How many Americans are in Russia just accused of spying? I have no idea. Maybe for our next show, I'll say, okay, rather than talk about Brittany, whatever the hell her last name is, the women's NBA, WNBA. Her story is she went to Russia to play a game, and she had pot with her. That's not legal in Russia. She got busted.
It's her fault.
It's her fault.
Beta law.
A couple of years ago, there was a kid in Singapore. It was Singapore. I want to say Singapore. This kid was the child of adults that were there working. He went there and vandalized something, spray painted a car or something like that. He got busted. The punishment was like 20 lashes. But 20 lashes over there means it's like a bamboo stick. It's going to draw blood and make scars. That was his punishment, and that I want to say that was during the Bush administration.
It's like Philippines. I think Philippines still does. Philippines, man, if you're gonna travel to the Philippines, keep your P's and Q's together. Yeah, that's all I gotta say. I mean, Japan has some weird laws that actually lead to a death penalty, and a lot of Americans are like, "What?" No.
I mean, yeah. If you, I think in Saudi Arabia, if you steal something, they chop off your hand.
Still? I don't know if it's still. I don't think they really.
Dude, if you're a woman and you don't wear a burqa, you get fucking beheaded in the middle of the road.
I don't think Saudi Arabia is crazy. There's like Yemen, maybe.
Yeah, Yemen's pretty out of control.
Oh! ISIS is. We said something.
Maybe he's just catching up. I don't know, because we were talking, pretty hard on ice a little bit, but it was ice. It was like legit ice, like frozen water ice.
Ice tea.
Ice tea. Like
water tea.
The rapper dude. So
Malaysia,
if you're ever at work,
Malaysia's like that.
So if you're ever at work, do you ever feel like taking a nap?
Well, in Japan, you can do that.
Right? And this is actually a story coming from Japan. That was a good sit. So the offices in Japan are installing nap boxes. They have nap pods. These pods you just climb into. I don't get it. Because it looks pretty uncomfortable to me, and it doesn't look like there's much ventilation. But the offices in Japan are installing nap boxes. Everyone loves a good nap. Designed for staff to sleep standing up-ish.
Why would you want to sleep up? Never mind. I've done it before.
Well, being in the military, we can pretty much nap anywhere. Just if you ever, I napped today. Okay, today was a hard day. Today was a hard day for me. I was supposed to have the day off, and I was looking forward to my day off because it's been a nasty week. Last night, after ICE's show, I got a text message from my architect, my boss, that says, "Hey man, can you come in? We got some changes to make." And I was like, "Fuck, okay, yes, I'll be there." So I said, I've got stuff to do today. So I took my car in for some service, some maintenance, some PMCS, and oil change, tire rotation type stuff like that. Got a haircut. And so I went to work, got there about 10 o'clock this morning. And they said, hey, if you show up today, we're going to guarantee you. It doesn't matter. It's a 5-minute job. It's a 5-minute job. We're going to pay you for 4 hours. Bet. Not a problem. They said, if you stay around lunchtime, we're going to have pizza. I said, fucking great. I get paid for 4 hours of work for 15 minutes or 30 minutes of actual work. I can do this. So
20 hours later.
6 hours later.
Which is what it was. I was at work today for like 6 hours. It didn't. Part of it was my fault. Part of it was software issues. But I had to stay there for everything to support my team, and I'm glad that it was there. I was hangry as fuck, dude, because I got up early this morning. I did all of my things. I didn't eat breakfast. I had some coffee, and that was it. By the time I ate, my first bite of food was it was right before 4 o'clock. So it was like all day without food. So how did we get off of nap time? So I don't even know how we got there. These bizarre sleep stations are aimed at white-collar employees who are known for logging in excruciatingly long hours. This is nuts, dude. Japan is absolutely crazy. Resembling a sleek water heater, the device supports workers' heads, knees, and butts so they will not fall over. I don't see any ventilation in there. What do you crawl in, close the door, and then you're sucking your own fumes? You're gonna die. You're gonna die. There's no oxygen in there. Sleepiness on the job is so widespread in Japan that it has the phrase inamuri, which refers to those who sleep during the day in order to get through a long commute or a full workday. Japan has some of the longest work hours in the world. According to a 2016 government study, 25% of companies require employees to work more than 80 hours of overtime each month, which is often unpaid.
What?
Dude, my time is extremely valuable. So yeah, you're gonna pay me for the hours that I spend there.
Yeah. I was reading into this. Apparently, sleeping on a job is kind of like if you take a nap during lunch or something like that. Mm-hmm. That's considered a good thing. That means you're working.
When I first started at my job, I was a union covered employee. We had a 1 hour lunch period, and lunch. I'm like, dude, I eat my sandwich in like a couple of minutes, and that was it. I would have nothing to do, so I would go out to my car and take a nap. I then learned to go out into my car, eat my lunch, take my nap, or even eat my lunch kind of a little bit before lunch and then go out to my car and then take a nap for like 50 minutes. Wake up in time to get back inside the gate and do the rest of my shift. They changed all that shit to 30-minute lunches. But I really, it helped because I was going to college then. So I would go to school, and it changed from first shift to second shift to third shift. So I would really appreciate the long nap time, the sleep time. I had two young girls in the house, like one still in the crib, one, both still in diapers. So I really appreciated that time to nap. But then they changed everything to a 30-minute lunchtime. But yeah, you're right about that nap thing, dude. If you even for like 10 or 15 minutes, close your eyes. Actually, don't get into REM sleep, but just close your eyes and just blank the fuck out. That is, if I get home in the afternoon and I take a nap when I get home, I'm not gonna, for like even 10 minutes. It really fucks up my sleep schedule. It recharges me. So I can imagine that if you have a long work day, let's say it's 12 or 14 hours, and you take, let's say, a 30-minute nap, after lunch, probably at the 10-hour mark, you can do anything. Do you ever take naps during the day and just feel like totally recharged? I love it.
I fall asleep watching the Weather Channel almost every day. So I mean.
I love taking naps, but it really screws up my sleep schedule, my actual rhythm of the day. That's why my weekends are kind of fucked up, because I'll do this show on Friday with you, and then I'll stay up a little bit later. I'll watch YouTube, and then I'm not going to bed at 9 or 10 o'clock. It's like I'm up till 11 or 12. But then I'll wake up at the same time. Like tomorrow morning, I'll be up at like 7 o'clock as opposed to 4 o'clock, which is when I normally wake up. And that just throws it off. And then Sunday, I usually sleep a little bit later, but then I've got to go to bed at a reasonable time to wake up at 4 o'clock in the morning on Monday morning. And I think it's more important to stay in a rhythm. You got to stay in a rhythm. But I couldn't imagine having to, mandated work 80 hours of overtime per month. That's nuts.
It's crazy. There's American companies that actually got sleep pods. You know that? Google has a sleep pod. I think Microsoft has like this weird. Oh god, we're gonna look it up now.
I think
like
both Microsoft and
house.
Google have just amazing work conditions.
Oh yes. Free food all day long. Friday is creativity time. Do whatever the heck you want. Of course, the company's going to own it. Bring your pet to work day.
It's nuts at my job. It's nuts at my job because they have. We are surrounded by old school engineers, my age, maybe a little bit younger, that are just like, you've been hired to do a job. Come to work, do the job. But they, to attract younger employees, we have a legit freaking Starbucks at our headquarters building. They have ping pong tournaments, and it's crazy because you get these older engineers that are like in control of the scheduling and the build times, and they have to do these things, and they come across engineers that say, no, I don't have time to do that. I'm going to need an extra 3 weeks to get everything that you want. And then the big manager walks through and this motherfucker's playing ping pong. Dude, if you got time to play ping pong, you got time to write code or to design stuff.
I guess that's old school.
Yeah, old school. It's old school. It is old school. Hopefully,
I used to cheat the government out all the time. Like, Motor Pool Monday, out of the crawl under the Humvee, look like I'm working underneath the Humvee, and take me a 30-minute power nap. But that's just, mafia rules.
So plans are underway for new nap boxes to be installed in offices so workers can take short power naps throughout the day. I'm down for that, dude. If you're working, 12 or 14-hour days, take a nap.
Tired and you can't concentrate. Sometimes it's better just to, recharge a little bit.
What we do, and I'll take my guys out, and I say my guys because we don't have any females working with me. I'm like, hey man, let's go take a walk. So we'll just walk the flight line or something, just to get out of the lab, just to get some fresh air, even in this 100-degree heat. Take the guys out. We'll just walk down the flight line and we'll just bullshit and talk and come back around, and it's a good half-mile walk. But it's good just to break the monotony. You don't necessarily need a nap. We do probably 10 to 12-hour days. Some of the I'm an hourly guy. So far, I have been successful at avoiding the. I'm a salaried person, but I forget how it's classified, but I get paid for every hour I work. The other guys I work with, a lot of them are degreed engineers, bachelor's, masters. 2 of them are doctorates. They get paid a flat salary, and then they have like a carve out for overtime, and it's all bullshit. But it's really good to get out and just get some fresh air. Just take a break, man. Get outside. But what if your job is outside? Well, take a break and go inside. I don't know.
Yeah. I knew when I was one of my later deployments, there's a bunch of guys experimenting with what's this 3-hour work schedule where they would stay up for 3 hours, but then take like that 30-minute power nap, and then go for another 3 hours, and then they'd go take a 30-minute nap. And apparently they were doing like phenomenal at that point.
You can if you did that. I don't know if I would do a 30-minute and then 3 hours. I'm good for, I don't know, maybe I'm built differently, but I'll get it in the morning, usually 5 o'clock, work until 8:30, and then I'll have a snack and a break, go to the bathroom, and then I'm working until about 1:30. I'll eat lunch, and then usually about 5 or 6 o'clock, I'll bust out. I don't need a nap. I'm sure that if you're in a family that you've got kids, or you're up at night, or if you're married, things are different in everyone's situation. Musa Al-Zwani says, "Can we talk about? Can I suggest a topic?" And I said, "Yes." He says, May we talk about I bonds?" I don't know what I bonds are.
We talk about bonds, maybe. I'm seeing that too. He said, "YOLO."
I am not a financial expert.
That.
I am a financial expert in what the fuck I've got.
I'm not a financial expert, but apparently Nancy Pelosi's husband bought a bunch of NVIDIA stock. So I'm just going to say that. And if,
we're going to talk about that too. It's kind of like we're the same brain.
Well, see,
as far as topics
well, I mean, me and you are both financial kind of like guys. So I mean, we're not financial experts with none, but.
No, we're not.
Definitely
not experts, but we know what works for us. And God,
anytime, what's his name? What is his name? I'll just say Pelosi's husband buys stocks.
Paul Pelosi
buys stocks. Yes, Paul. Anytime Paul Pelosi buys a stock, you should buy it too.
There's an app that you can download that follows Paul Pelosi's investment schedule.
Quiver Quant does that. I don't think it's an app, but it's like a web page that shows all the senators trading. But apparently the Pelosi trading scheme nets about 100 to 150% in a given year.
Nuts. Fuck, dude, this is kind of derailing my little thing of stuff and stuff. Damn it. I was going to fuck with China a little bit.
No. A boss man, I totally agree with that. They should be barred. But apparently the queen of insider trading says everyone should be able to freely trade. And she said that.
You know what? I was going to say this for the second half, but I'm not going to. Guess what? If you are an elected official that is responsible, or you have influence on any stock in the United States, plus or minus, guess what? If you're an elected official, you ought to just stick to mutual funds. Limited to mutual funds. Sell all your all your personal stocks if you own stock in Raytheon, or if you own stock in Lockheed Martin. Sell that shit. The only thing that you can invest in is like a mutual fund, something that has a broad spectrum of investment opportunities.
You don't think they would use their political influence to manipulate that?
Well, the thing is, as far as an investment vehicle, somebody, oh gosh, yes. Now that I think of it,
I pulled up the I bonds. I'm looking at it, and I kind of understand it, but keep going.
Now that I think of it, fuck it. No, whatever you went into politics with is what you stay with. You're not
Yes.
able to do anything while you're in politics. Once you get out of politics, then you can do shit. How about that?
Because take Elon Musk and Bezos are gonna be like, hey, we're gonna start this new rocket. And it's like, hey, and they start telling all their buddies, hey, that's insider trading at that point. And we're about to start this new rocket. It might be worth it.
We're going to get to that in the second hour, but I want to talk about Halloween.
Halloween. Oh, never mind. Most people don't get that reference anyways.
I do. So we're gonna talk about Halloween, because Halloween, I mean, now that July 4th is done, Independence Day is over with, the next major holiday is Halloween. On Friday, this last Friday, a home improvement retailer, Home Depot, brought back its popular 12-foot skeleton along with other Halloween decor. This $300 skeleton went viral in 2020. It sold out that year. The skeleton, which Home Depot has named Skelly, has animated LCD eyes. It requires 2 adults to put together in about an hour, according to the product page. But the thing is, here we got 3 guys trying to put this thing together. That thing is massive. That is like Iron Maiden Eddie massive.
I just went troll mode as soon as I saw the picture of this. It's like, just imagine calcifying that and burying it. And give it 10,000 years.
Dude, bury it like, if you're gonna you build a new house, you build this like in your backyard. You just bury it in your backyard and then build a deck over it.
Just somewhere in the middle of the desert. Just bury it like at the right sediment level, and then you're gonna have all of anthropology scratching their heads trying to figure out, like, oh, we found a new human species.
But if you ever watch Ancient Aliens, they find things that are like bizarrely large or bizarrely small, like super small humans or large humans. There were giants back then. No, they had a freaking Home Depot in the 1400s.
Just to mess with them. So dude, I can troll people after their grave. I'm totally doing this.
So this skeleton's suitable for indoors or outdoors, as long as people's indoor ceilings are high enough. I mean, obviously it's 12 feet high. Home Depot has limited purchases to the 12-foot skeleton for 1 per order. The retailer is also selling a 12-foot animated hovering witch, a 9.6-foot immortal werewolf, and an 8-foot animated smoldering reaper, which is pretty cool, and a 12-foot inferno pumpkin skeleton. So let's get into some really boring tech news. And I know that you're going to have an opinion on this, and this is the reason why I chose this story, because I wanted to get your reaction. So we're going to be talking about iOS. Apple iOS is updating their operating system. Happens every year. It has become an annual tradition of sorts for Apple users, but in a matter of months, people with devices running iOS will be updating to a new operating system. While Apple regularly issues minor updates for iPhone, they will also release a new version of iOS once per year, and iOS 16 is the new version. According to Apple, there are a number of changes for iOS 16, but 2 major changes include lock screen customization and recalling sent messages. That's really? Up until now, an iPhone user can only personalize their lock screens with different wallpapers. Now, Apple says that people will now be able to put widgets on their lock screen, which will allow them to access various information like calendar, events, alarms, time zones, among other things, without actually unlocking the phone. A number of new wallpaper options were also introduced. I'm laughing because I know what you're going to say, such as astronomy-related wallpapers, weather-related wallpapers, among other selections. Live activities is another lock screen feature, which Apple officials say will allow viewers to stay on top of things that are happening in real time, like sport games, ride share, or food delivery orders right from the lock screen. As for notifications, Apple officials say that they will roll up from the bottom as opposed to down from the top. Other features are scheduling emails, canceling an email delivery, enhancement to live text. Text appearing in video can now be detected by the phone. Addition of Apple Pay Later for U.S. version or users only in Apple Wallet, and multi-stop routing for Apple Maps. So, hasn't Android done this shit for like years? It seems like iOS has always been catching up to whatever Android's doing. And this is where I wanted kind of you to chime in. Android kind of does this already for all of these things.
I'm just still shocked at the fact that people will like die on that hill of Apple was the best, because I used to be an Apple guy like that. Like I was like, this is awesome, because I liked like the MacBook, the Mac Pro, you know, that kind of stuff, because it had the X11. It actually had X11, and when they dropped X11, people aren't going to understand what X11 is. X11 pretty much let me use anything that was Unix or Linux, because when they switched to the ARM processor, Intel processor, it allowed me to be able to access, you know, all the Linux and like anything at that point. And when they nixed that, because they said, oh, it's causing their excuse was it was causing our laptops to overheat. Well, have you ever seen an iMac or iBook or whatever the fuck they called now? I don't even know at this point.
MacBook Pro.
Yeah, MacBook or anything like that. They have the worst design on the planet. I could buy a $50 freaking. No, I don't want to get into this. Netbook that has better ventilation than your $3,000 piece of shit. And people, I don't know why people still keep buying their phones. They're so far behind on technology. Oh, I got a better camera. Okay. How many pictures you taking?
You know, I think I save more memes than I take pictures. So iOS 16 has not been officially released to the public, but it's scheduled for a fall 2022 debut. However, people can enroll their iPhone in the Apple Beta software program to test out the new stuff. It may not work as well, but you can go to like iPhone Beta and you can download the beta version and you can use it and do your things.
I mean, Samsung, Android, and all those have been doing that, and you get involuntarily ruled sometimes. Like, here's this new software update, like ice cream or popsicle, or whatever the hell fucking Google calls it, and then you're like, your whole shit's changed, and you're like, the old one was better, but I'll figure it out, and it's no problem at that point.
I just got a new software drop from Android that has like a new wallet. It has a new wallet.
Dude, that new wallet thing is actually pretty cool.
Is it pretty cool?
Yeah. It'll let you link your specific payment cards to your phone through the NFC or whatever it is.
I don't like that. I don't like linking shit to shit.
Well, just turn the NFC off, but it comes in handy because there's been times where I've been shopping for an hour and realized, holy shit, my wallet's not in my pocket. And you walk up to your phone and you go, doot, doot, bing, and hit it against that stupid card reader, and it comes straight out of your debit card.
I had some guy do that. Today. I got a haircut today, and some guy said, "Fuck, I forgot my wallet," and he reached into his fucking pocket, grabbed his phone, pulled out his wallet app, and then you know,
Bing.
Turned it around, and
Bing.
that was it.
Japan's been doing this for like 10 years. I think South Korea's been on top of this technology for a while. We're finally getting around to it. But I don't know.
Like we say, taxation is theft, right?
I didn't get taxed on using my phone. So. Oh, you just gave them an idea to stop giving them ideas. The next thing you know, you're going to pay like a 3% cell phone.
Oh, yeah. Convenience tax.
Jeez, why'd you do that?
So speaking about taxes, Everyone knows, let's go Brandon, right? It's like this. It's a call out for our current president, for
Brandon.
whatever. So Stanislaus County, California has about 550,000 residents, and it sits just south of Stockton and east of San Jose. One resident is demanding answers. She's demanding answers, and I don't think her name is Karen, but it might as well be Karen. That just seems like a part of the country in California. California mostly is kind of
answers, and my name is Karen automatically.
I think California, for the most part, is pretty conservative. Just kind of like the country is more conservative than liberal.
But they're like New York, like most of the poor people are just stuck at the whim of the big cities at that point.
Exactly. But one resident is demanding answers after she and hundreds of others have received an official tax letter in the mail with stamps on it that says, "Let's go Brandon." Vicky Bose says, I quote, I was surprised that someone was able to access hundreds of pieces of mail and stamp this on it. And no one stopped them. Quote, this is taxpayers' money and they're using this derogatory stamp to show what someone thinks about it. And we're paying for it. It's just not right. County officials say the slogan ended up on roughly 544 pieces of mail, but no one seems to know how this happened. I'm laughing.
I know how it happened. I know. Show me on your Pomeranian where it got hurt.
Show me on your Yorkie where you've been hurt. County Assessor Don Gakel says our office is completely nonpartisan, but he continued, we don't have anything to do with this. We are a nonpartisan government office doing the taxpayers' business, and we apologize that this mistake offended taxpayers, and we want to make sure that it never happens again. That was his quote. But Bose says, she came back and she says, the apology is not enough. How could this be a printing error? It's stamped on every envelope on the back. Someone needs to realize that this was illegal and this was not good.
Do you ever been to a library post-internet?
It's just funny to me. I mean, people get... And I replied in comments on this news publication, and I'm like, lighten up. People just need to lighten up. And then all the responses I got is like, Trump's trying to, undo the democracy.
January 6th, our democracy.
Oh my gosh! Everything always goes back to January 6th. It's really funny when I was at a car shop today getting my preventive maintenance done on my car because I paid for it. On the news, it was Good Morning America, I think. Who's the football guy that does the sports thing? He was with a big gap in his teeth. That guy. I think it's Good Morning America. I don't do sports either. But they were trying to cover the January 6th, trial or whatever. I'm like, it was so they were showing video, and I'm like, this is just people talking in front of a microphone with a prepared statement that they spent weeks writing, probably months, to a bunch of people that are sitting processing this information that already have the same opinion. This is such a sham. It's like they're like, hey, I'm saying these things that you agree with, and they go, we acknowledge that we agree with what you're talking about. Okay, next. And it's such a circus. It's such a circus. Insurrection. Insurrection. All right, let's take a break.
Yes,
let's gonna reset.
My poor bladder is about to freaking explode right now.
Let's talk about. Let's save Pookie's bladder. Let's save Pookie's bladder. Hearts in the comments for saving Pookie's bladder. Do it. Do the heart thing. The heart emoji or whatever the hell for saving Pookie's bladder. I don't see any hearts. Do you see any hearts?
No, People don't give a shit about me, man.
No one cares about Pooky. What the hell, dude? He is traveling tomorrow. He's got to have a good healthy bladder to travel with tomorrow. Okay, we're going to take a break really quick. It's not going to be very long. And then when we come back, we're going to talk about scientific proof that being hangry is a thing. We're going to talk about cocaine, talk about Pelosi's insider trading, and then we're going to bag on China for a little bit.
Cocaine.
And then we can talk about the Second Amendment type stuff. And God bless Missouri. I love Missouri. All right. Let's do this thing. We're going to go to break, and we'll be right back in just a couple of minutes. And that shit ain't working.
Nation Radio.
WTF Nation Radio.
John Hancock. It's Herbie Hancock. Yeah.
The voice of U.S. Army, WTF Moments. This is WTF Nation Radio.
God, I love this song. All right, welcome back, everybody, to part 2 of Friday Night Freedom. My name is Koz. Up there is Pooky. I really don't think I introduced you properly in the opening segment, but that's Pooky up there. That guy.
The strong
that
man.
guy. That guy with the facial hair of excellence. So we've had some interesting conversations in the chats during the break, talking about inflation and what the hell happens and things and stuff. And I don't know exactly. I understand, it's a supply and demand type thing. If there's more supply, they want to get rid of the supply, so the price goes down, so people consume more. But then there's got to be some kind of a parity. COVID kind of threw that into a weird mix that we've never, ever seen before. My opinion is that it got out of control because people are like, folks are leaving jobs and prices are increasing. for no good reason. Prices for childcare are increasing like really like more than it really ought to. Just because it's just the cost of doing things costs more. The cost for producing a product and shipping it over, across the United States or across the world has increased. So yeah, prices are going to increase. But, childcare, yeah, it's going to cost you more to pay your staff to drive from where they live to where they work, but not as much as the prices are increasing. And I use childcare just because that's just, something that I came up with off the top of my head. But retail workers, me going to work, it costs me more to go to work. And that doesn't cover my bonus, or I don't get bonuses. I get like an annual increase. The 4 or 5% wage increase.
Inflation. Yeah, that barely keeps up with inflation. Just to keep you happy.
It barely does. It barely does now that it hasn't. It definitely hasn't. My company put out an email that says, "Hey, we're talking about this. We're gonna do things." What are you doing, dude? Is that how you pour a Guinness?
Out of a can, yeah.
Yeah, look at that shit. Just jam that thing down in the can, and
sometimes you gotta rough it.
The cost of energy, the cost of anything, everything. I haven't had. I don't live in an apartment, so even my kids don't live they do live in apartments, but they've signed rental agreements. And it's not like overnight their rent is going up. If you read the news, overnight everyone's rent is going up and everyone's mortgage is going up. It's skyrocketing and we can't afford it. That's not necessarily true. No one wakes up.
It gets a lot deeper than just things that have happened over the last 2 years.
Yeah.
It gets really. I try to explain this to people. I mean, it really started. I think it was 1913.
You said Woodrow 1913, Wilson, and I called them dicks because they're probably dicks.
No, I mean, it was December 23rd, Christmas Eve night. Woodrow Wilson started the Federal Reserve, and that's when our money just went to shit afterwards. And it was FDR was a big. Like he ended the gold standard pretty much. He bought all the gold from everyone. He said, "Hey, it's illegal to own gold. We'll buy it for $20." And then once he got it back, he was like, "Oh, it's not worth $30." And then you had Nixon, who like ended the whole silver fucking. Nixon was the one that put the last nail in the coffin at that point. I really do believe that. Everyone wants to blame Reagan with his economics. No, it was done. That last nail was done hitting the coffin at that point. Our coinage. I remember anything before 1964. By the way, this is a public service announcement. If you find a quarter or a dime or anything made before 1964, it is valuable, and don't just fucking buy Coke with it out of a vending machine.
Dude, I've got a bunch of half dollars that are pre-64. Kennedy half dollars. Yes. Oh, Heath! Oh my gosh, $200 a week for groceries a week, and they're now paying $450. I'm with you. It's just the thing is, it's just Koz, living with Koz, and I used to survive on $70 or $80 a week, and now it's about 120, 130. There is an exponential increase, and it's just, dude, a dozen eggs. I think
insane.
I think it was like $3.80 for the good stuff. For the good stuff.
I used to just get free eggs from my neighbor who had a farm. So,
but if you're gonna buy eggs, not the generic eggs, I like the super yellow yolk. It's just I'm kind of
orange. The best yolk is an orange yolk.
Yeah.
If you haven't had a good farm egg with an orange yolk inside of it, you haven't lived yet.
So good. Duck eggs are really good for omelets. Speaking of all this food, have you ever been hangry? Do you ever get to the point where you're just like, fuck?
I will fight anyone who disagrees with me just because they disagreed with me. Yes.
hangry is a thing. It's been proven scientifically. And I'm gonna tell that story here right now as soon as I get my graphic up. So if you're someone who gets cranky when you're hungry, research like scientific research now shows that it's not all in your head or in your belly. Hangry, a combination of hungry and angry, is defined by the Oxford Dictionary as being bad-tempered or irritable as a result of hunger. I think we've all been there. Thanks to a team of social psychologists, the phenomena known as hanger is now backed by science. For the study, which was published in the Journal of PLOS 1 last week, researchers sent all the participants 5 smartphone prompts a day at randomized times for 3 weeks, tracking their mood, their hunger levels during their daily routines. The data shows a direct real-world connection between feeling hungry and feeling grumpy. A first in the research field. No one has ever done this before that I know of.
You could have just like listened to the Army at any time during lunchtime. You hear all the privates like, I gotta eat, I gotta eat. Sergeant, Bill, it's 11:30. I gotta eat.
It's fucking lunchtime.
Eat an MRE. No, I got a meal card. I'm gonna go to the second defense.
A lot of people have been really quick to write off the study as inconsequential in academia. The researchers say that there's significant consequences to feeling hanger in the real world. The U.S. and going on in a more serious tone here, the USDA estimates that 38.3 million people lived in food insecure households in 2020, including as many as 1 in 6 children. If a child goes to school, think about this, if a child goes to school on an empty stomach and is feeling angry, it'll affect not just their interactions with other school kids, but their interactions with teachers, and probably that affects their learning. For people go ahead.
No, this is what pisses me off more than anything. Is all right, you can look at, there's many other countries that have perfected this, but I don't understand why a child who goes through the lunch line and gets his food, and then he's got his tray of prison grade food at this point in the United States, and they go and say, oh, well, you're overcharged. They throw his food out. And that's how it is in most states. I don't understand. It is mandatory in most states for your child to get an education. Truancy. That's the thing. So why does the parent have to pay for food? Why does anyone if the kid is forced to go to school at that point, they should get a free meal. I mean, I fuck up, I get a DUI, or I go and snap some random dude's neck. I'm going to jail. I'm getting fed the rest of my life.
Okay.
So it's messed up that these poor kids, these kids like in my state, they have a summer food program where kids can go to get lunch throughout the day so they don't starve to death. It blows my mind at this point.
When did this start? Because when I was going through elementary school, we had snack time, and that was nothing more than milk, and you had to have a special permission card to get chocolate milk, and it was fucked up. I tried to forge one and it didn't work. But so you get, white milk or chocolate milk. And then there was like an apple or orange banana, whatever. But now when my girls were going through elementary school and high school, there was, okay, this is breakfast. If you want a breakfast plan, you can have this breakfast plan. And,
pay for it.
The parents pay for it.
was just messed up, but still.
And there's, the lunch plan that parents pay for. What does our taxes for school go towards? Are they not collecting enough taxes to cover for everyone, or are there people that are not in the tax system? Because there are calculations. There's calculations. They can say, okay, we have 500,000 people here in this county, and there's so many kids, and this is how much we should collect as far as taxation and stuff. I get it. But then when the expenditures exceed what the projected cost is, why? And where are those expenditures coming from? Are they illegal immigrants? Because you can't deny an education, right?
I won't deny an education and a food to a child.
Dude,
that's just me.
Teachers aren't making squat. Teachers do make squat.
Yes, but okay. We could blow this whole argument out of the water real quick.
Okay.
Most children, I'll say it depends on the state though, but Americans per child on average, we spend more money than most countries do to educate a child. But our education system is what 24th, 25th in the world.
Oh,
so
it's way down there. It's way down there.
Yes, it's not a spending problem. It's a system problem at that point. Because you just keep throwing money at an issue. It's like, I got a leaky boat. Oh, just here's some money, fix it. Well, why does the boat keep sinking? Well, I thought you were supposed to fix it with the money. Here's more money. That's how our government reacts to things like that, and that's why the education system is fucked up in our country. I hate to say it.
I think you're totally correct. I think that the fix, and you're going to look at Uvalde, the gun violence bullshit that happens there. They're doing, the only thing that they're doing is throwing money at the problem. They're throwing money.
Let's rip the school down, build a new school, and that was going to solve our problems at a point, because you have a failed police. You're gonna get me. You're trying to get me.
Uvalde. I don't want to get into it either. This is 200 something fucking officers just standing around with their thumbs in their ass, waiting for orders or whatever their excuse is. But yeah. So
my argument with the education system is we could look at plenty of other places. Like everyone loves to look at the Nordic states. And,
let's talk about Norway. Norway is really, really good. I love Norway.
But most of the time they just from kindergarten to like second, third grade is just fuck around and find out, but under parental supervision. You're still trying to learn your ways in life. You got to learn how to use them thumbs and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So Japan's kind of similar to that. And I dug really big into the Japanese education system, and I was like, holy crap, they figured it out. And it's something along the lines of from first grade to sixth grade, they don't even do tests or anything like that.
Dude, from birth. And we did this with both of my daughters. It's called Shishido. You just, it's like flashcards. You show them a flashcard that has these dots on it, and you show them a dot or this flashcard that has dots on it. You say 128. The next flashcard says 14, and it has 14 dots on it. 64, it has 64 dots on it, and that's all.
The kids learn,
and that's how they learn. And amazingly, both of my kids, are really, really now. I mean, they're both adults, are super, super good at mathematics and arranging things, and they have very good spatial, just a good way to look at stuff.
Our problem in the United States, our number one problem in the United States when it comes to education system is standardized testing, and that standardized testing is what boils down to what the budget of that specific like
you can
education
go.
system.
Well, you can go, a step or two
School
back,
district.
going, why the fuck is government involved in education?
Well, got to make sure they eat proper. Michelle Obama.
Whatever. You think
I
she's
miss
gonna
that
run?
old school pizza. I miss that old school pizza.
Dude, I had the best. That's the best. That and the chicken a la king that we had, dude. That cardboard ass pizza was really good.
It was good pizza. Oh, we used to get cheesesteaks too, like once a week, once a month. It was like a cheese. I lived in Pennsylvania when I was going through elementary school, so we get like a Philly cheesesteak once. It's like, oh yeah, this is awesome. It was like bread, meat, and cheese. But
Bread, meat, cheese. Do it. It doesn't even have to be provolone. Just cheese.
But no. Here's the thing that blew my mind. Right, I was dating a girl for a while I was stationed in D.C. And her son was going so I was like, all right, well, I'm gonna have sit down because I was on the list of people who could come visit, and I was like, well, I'm off work early. I'll go sit down and have lunch with the kid. And I looked at his food, and it was like this teaspoon of broccoli, a teaspoon of carrots, and I was like, that's nothing. I can't imagine trying to learn all day and listen to a teacher while my stomach's going because I'm gonna be hangry as shit, and I'm gonna fight people. To feed me, give me some tacos or some crap. No, this is broccoli, bread. It's all portioned out, according to that the new food pyramid. I don't know if you've seen that.
I don't even know what it looks like now.
No, it's just something fucking crazy.
So now for people who do experience hanger, researchers say that it's important to be able to recognize and interpret your feelings, also known as affect labeling. It can help you pull out of a negative emotion and behavior. It's worth sometimes to think about why you're feeling angry and to be able to label it as hunger, and it can be really useful. I'm really fucking pissed off. Why am I fucking pissed off? Am I hungry? Yes, I am hungry. This is why I'm pissed off. So you can, and this is exactly what I did today at work because I was pissed. Things weren't going my way. I was getting really, really upset. And I actually stopped and thought, why am I upset? Am I upset because things are going wrong or because I'm fucking hungry? I hadn't eaten all day. I didn't eat anything today until almost 4 o'clock. Yeah. It was almost 4 o'clock and I had been up since probably 6 and I was pissed off. And I understood why I was pissed off. And it's only because of this research for this topic. I'm like, okay, it's because I'm hungry. I am absolutely hungry. And you sent that, here, have a Snickers. Yeah, that would have helped. If to have anything in my stomach would have been awesome. So I guess send your kids to school with a fucking Snickers in their fucking bag.
Oh, no, but there's peanuts, man. The peanuts, man. Those just kids with allergies and shit, man. You can't do that, man.
Well, they don't have to share it with anybody.
You can't send bread anymore because of gluten allergies. You can't send grape because of allergies. Just playing devil's advocate here. I don't know if you've seen I don't know how long your kids have been out of school, but I've seen some of the school like
they're both post college.
It's fucking bogus, the shit you see coming here's a list of things that you can't bring to school. All right, why can't I bring a pencil? Oh, there's a graphite allergy. I'm like, the fuck?
But now they got. I mean, Dallas just came out with clear backpacks. You have to have a clear backpack, to reduce.
Yeah.
What weapons?
Joe,
because of Uvalde, but that motherfucker walked in with a goddamn rifle and started shooting fuckers.
Joe Little made a sense. Homeschool your kids, and I will tell everyone that all day long. If you can afford to do it, get away from this government freaking education program, because I know some children. I've talked to some teenagers, and it blows my mind about they don't even know how to do like long division. Some of them are like, I don't know how to do that. Like, you're fucking 14 years old and you can't fucking do basic math.
Man, maybe I was a dick.
They know what gender they are and what they
or
feel. Or
do they know what fucking bathroom to use?
No, that's the thing though. Is like, I think our education system has been hijacked, and it is.
I think we need to get the government out of education. They got no business being there.
Bring it back to the states. 10th Amendment. Let the states figure out where it is, and let the counties figure out what it is, so the people in those counties can say, this is what my kids need taught.
Yep. So now that we're done with that, let's talk about cocaine. Cocaine. Let's go from education to cocaine. Cocaine. Spanish police have uncovered 785 kilograms of cocaine disguised as rock. A rock shipment. Like a shipment of fucking rocks. Like rocks. Like, here's a shipment of rocks. And
hands on one of those bags.
officials used hammers to break open the rocks, only to discover plastic bags of cocaine hidden in each of the stones. They uncovered 785 packages of drug mixture, which was at least 1 kilogram of cocaine in each. Okay, who orders rocks? 11 suspects were arrested and were found to be a part of an organization comprised composed of Colombian and Venezuelan citizens shipping stuff to Spain.
I just want to meet the man who came up with this idea. It's almost as good as the avocado cocaine fucking thing. Like, I think we talked about that like 2 years ago.
Yeah, we did. The seizure happened in 2019. That video that I was showing happened in 2019. There was another seizure in 2021 in Netherlands, where authorities found 1,900 pounds of cocaine disguised as charcoal. The Drug Task Force said a couple months ago that it was a complex chemical process that was used to give the drugs a very similar form and color as actual charcoal, but it eliminated the characteristic smell of cocaine, so dogs never picked up on it.
Oh, so these guys are like innovating.
They're innovating as fuck. Yes.
Prohibition doesn't work. All drugs should be legal. I'll end that.
Wow.
Fentanyl and heroin.
Yeah, I'll disagree with the nasty shit.
The opioids, I think, like, you should just drag your local heroin dealer out in the middle of the street and tar feather him just to say, hey, leave us the fuck alone. Because that shit destroys families. But, I mean, my great-grandmother grew up. She used to tell me, she's like, I just take a bump of cocaine around. And I'm like, what the fuck? But that was the way they did it back then.
But that's when Coke was actually in Coca-Cola.
But I never heard of any old people like, oh, I just want a cup of coffee. You know, that's like us now. Like, I wake up in the morning, holy shit, need a cup of coffee. That's our bump in the morning. Their bump in the morning was like, oh, let's get the freaking slinging some pipe and doing whatever.
We're doing what? Yeah.
Building the Hoover Dam and, you know, the Leaning Tower of Pisa or the Empire State Building. I mean...
I'm sure back in the day when the Leaning Tower of Pisa was built, it was just the Tower of Pisa, and then it started to lean, and then it became the leaning.
There was some drunk guy that helped build it before OSHA. He was like standing like, "Hey, let's do it."
So we were talking about all this other stuff earlier about insider trading. And I'd like to get to that now so we can kind of wrap up the show because, Queen Nancy, Paul Pelosi, House Speaker Nancy Pelosi's husband, made a stock purchase of over $1 million in a computer chip company just weeks before a potential vote in Congress that would give a massive subsidy to the industry. Mr. Pelosi made a purchase of between 1 million and 5 million shares, $1 or $5 million in shares of NVIDIA, which is a semiconductor company, according to a disclosure made by the Pelosi office. He exercised 200 call options for 20,000 shares. Reuters reported that the Senate could vote on a bill very, very soon, like between now and August, which is 2 weeks, a week and a half, that contains billions of dollars in subsidies within the semiconductor industry very soon. The bill can send as much as $52 billion in chip subsidies as well as tax credits in order to increase competitiveness with China. Congress is aiming to pass a bill and send it to President Biden's desk before leaving for their August recess. Craig Holman, who is a Capitol Hill lobbyist for Public Citizen, a left-leaning think tank, told the Daily Caller News Foundation that the disclosure is concerning. This is fucked up. This is folks have tried to hold Nancy's feet to the fire, going, dude, have you told your husband things? I mean, she is on these boards and stuff. She knows things. She tells her husband things, and this guy invests or doesn't invest in stuff. And we were talking about this earlier.
This is why our entire system is fucked at this point. I'm going to quote that, fucked at this point. It's because we've got people who get this information and are more worried about their stock trades. They're making 4 times what the average person makes. We're paying them 4 times what the average person makes in this country. And then they're taking this money and investing it on the fucking policies. The policies that they're writing to make themselves richer. It is bullshit.
So the average income for an American is around 50,000, right?
50,000. What are they at now? Like 200 and something thousand or something like that? 230
something thousand.
And they get that if they. I understand. I might be wrong on this, but if they do 4 years and retire, they get to collect it the rest of their lives. From what I understand at that point.
It all depends. They need to be like AOC needs to be reelected like one more time, and then she'll get the forever bonus. The
forever bonus, free health care forever. They don't even have to pay into what was that Obamacare crap. They were exempt from the fines from it because they get their own special insurance for the rest of their lives at that point. Huh?
They're not suspect. They're not subjected to the laws that they pass.
They get free health care. They get free money.
Yeah.
They get insider trading so they can make more money. When do these people get cut? There's a big cutoff on the checks and balances right now.
How about
there used to be.
Cut the politicians off, man. Remember when? I mean, I'm saying remember when, but
back in the 1700s, when it was a job that you took
just to make your world better. You would be a politician just to make your world better. You would not get a salary. But now there's,
I mean, it's fucked up. It's the fact that they let them vote. Like they put a amendment into the Constitution, allow them to vote for their own freaking pay raises.
Yeah.
They taxation. This is why stop paying your fucking taxes. Everyone, just screw it. Screw them all.
So Pelosi again was going to be going to China, right?
Taiwan.
Taiwan. China will now take resolute and strong measures should Speaker Pelosi of the United States visit Taiwan. Pelosi, who is second in line to the presidency, that is so fucking scary, is due to visit the self-governing island of China, who claims its own territory.
West Taiwan.
Oh gosh. Do I have this? Oh my gosh.
You can't say China anymore. You gotta say West Taiwan or Winnie the Pooh land. You gotta trigger 'em.
Oh my gosh. I didn't do this. I'm gonna do this, and it's gonna be live to drag this fucking graphic in here.
There's two pictures that go coincidental with that, and I was thinking that the other night, but I don't know if you're gonna put the right one up there.
I am. So there's Nancy. There's Princess Nancy. Gonna go
the oligarchy.
Pictures. Oh yes, here it is. But doink.
How's it feel to have every little bit of your life controlled by someone who's 90 years old? It's like escaping a house because you don't like your parents, but then you realize, oh crap, my parents run the entire country.
Right.
West Taiwan.
West Taiwan. There it is.
Yes. There you go. Taiwan, West Taiwan.
Is that the one you wanted?
Yes.
Let me.
That works out. And North Korea should be part of West Taiwan at that point because, everyone knows that, North Korea ain't doing shit without China. So.
They're not doing nothing. So anyway, China says that they're pissed off that, of course, Princess Nancy is going to go to Taiwan. She was originally scheduled to visit in April. A warning was issued by China, and then Nancy mysteriously tested positive for COVID, and then she had to cancel her trip. Pelosi would be the highest-ranking American lawmaker to visit the close ally since Newt Gingrich.
Newt? Holy crap, that's way back.
Yeah, it's like 25 years. 25 years. A spokesman for the Chinese Foreign Ministry says a visit by Pelosi would severely undermine China's sovereignty and territorial integrity, gravely impact the foundations of China-U.S. relations, and send a seriously wrong message to Taiwan independence forces. If the U.S. were to insist on going down the wrong path, China would take a resolute and strong measure to safeguard its sovereignty and territorial integrity. So if Pelosi goes to Taiwan, China's gonna fucking do some shit? I don't know. I'm sick and fucking tired of.
You showed a picture of the banking situation that's going on over there. And
I did.
But fucking, it's not China. It's I like pissing the Chinese off. So come at me, bro.
So if you ask anyone, the Chinese government, if you ask anyone in the Chinese government how things are going, they'll probably tell you that it's going pretty good. If you look at some of the news sneaking out of China, the information provided will tell you a different story. In truth, the economy in China isn't going very well at all.
Oddly, we owe them like $14 trillion or something.
They own a lot of our debt. They've bought into a lot of our debt. So in truth, the economy in China is not going very well. And a curious sight outside a select financial institution is proof. Tanks from the People's Liberation Army were filmed staging around the Henan Bank of China, the buildings, as a crowds began to form. The move came after the Bank of China declared that the people's savings in their bank accounts were now declared investment products, and they could not be withdrawn. Protests demanding the release of frozen funds began taking place after the declaration, prompted by the PLA, and then they stepped in. The Bank of China claims they're like, this is only temporary. The depositors will get their frozen money back in batches, with the first installment due on July 15th. but only a handful of depositors were reported to have received payments. Chinese
so they're like preventing a bank run with the military.
Yeah. China says all your dollars belong to us.
See, I'm looking at them tanks, and my brain is trying to process it because I can see how far away he's standing. There's just some small ass tanks. I think our freaking 1151s are bigger than those tanks.
But they got the military defending the banks because the Chinese government says that whatever money you have in this bank belongs to us. We're going to give it back to you, but it's going to take a minute. So all of this stuff happened, and Chinese media has not posted anything about the repayment. Only a small handful of people have received anything back to them. So I wanted to talk about the Second Amendment. Man, this is like not flowing information. But we're going to talk about the Second Amendment, which is why I love Missouri. Missouri has some great leadership. Missouri officials are slamming a planned FBI audit of various sheriff's offices in the state, saying that the audit,
I'll let you go.
The audit is an attempt to, quote, illegally obtain information on concealed carry permit holders. One sheriff in particular said that even under the threat of federal arrest, he will not comply and release the concealed carry information. As a sheriff of Scotland County, I want all my citizens to know that I will not allow, cooperate, or release any concealed carry information to the FBI, even the threat of federal arrest. Republican Scotland County Sheriff Brian Whitney wrote to residents in his community on Monday. Point blank, I will not comply. I will go down to the ship. I will go down with the ship if need be.
He's a sheriff. He's elected by the people, and that's his job to uphold the Constitution. That's his job. And simple as that.
He's doing it, and he believes it with his heart. Whitney said that he was prompted to send the letter to the community in northeastern Missouri after he was alerted to the FBI audit was going to be carried out in 24 counties in Missouri next month. It's unclear which counties in particular were included. Missouri Attorney General Eric Schmidt also demanded the FBI cease their attempts to illegally obtain information from local sheriffs. This is fucked up, man. The FBI is going, no, we're going to do this, bro.
Yeah. And no, get the F out of my county is what that sheriff should be saying. And that sheriff has the power to detain these people in his county.
That is so badass.
I mean,
I just love it when...
There's a reason why we have an elected official called the sheriff in our counties. That is our defense against these idiots up top. Make sure you vote for your sheriff. That's all.
So the FBI, just to give them a voice here, the FBI released a statement that said, under the planned Missouri audit, a small sampling of system transactions is to be inspected for compliance and to ensure that there is no misuse of the FBI's Criminal Justice Information Service Division's systems. You know what, dude? And this is my comment. This is Koz here saying, I've seen the way the government handles some things, and I support Sheriff Whitney and Missouri Attorney General Schmidt. You know, fuck that. No. Ain't gonna happen.
There's like laws in the books that says that they're not allowed to legally keep data like that. Like the federal government is not allowed to keep certain data like that. And
I really like Texas because you don't, when I buy a gun, and I've got lots of goddamn guns, it's not on anyone's register. I don't have to register shit. I buy a gun, it's my gun. Great. I buy a pack of fucking Coke, I buy a fucking case of Coke, it's my Coke. I buy a gun, it's my gun. It's the same thing. There's no registration.
Buy ammo.
Yeah.
Nowadays, people are like trying to You need to scan your ID to buy ammo. It's like, well, here's my ID. You're not scanning it, but you can look at it, and I'm buying my ammo. You know? I don't know. The world's getting crazy. Everyone who can legally buy a firearm should own one, I think.
Everyone ought to. Everyone needs to.
Like
so
that crap that happened in Indiana. I don't know if anyone covered that throughout the week, but that dude's a Chad. That's all I'm gonna say. He walked into a gun-free zone, constitutional carrying, and a dude decided, I'm gonna go on a mass shooting spree, and dude ended him before he wanted to fucking hurt a bunch of people.
Like within 10 seconds. 15 seconds.
He looked at the side and was like, oh, gun-free. Oh, I can carry my gun. Where Second Amendment says,
dude, I fucking carry my gun. Dude, I carry wherever I can. I don't care if there's sign, unless it's work. And, I've got a special job where that I can't do that. But so here's the last story of the night, dude. I promised you I'm going to get you out of here because you have
at this point, don't get me.
So let's let this sit on people's soul for the weekend, because if you're in Portland, Oregon, this is this West Coast bullshit is just driving me kind of crazy. Parents in Portland, Oregon, can now send their kids to a free social justice summer camp founded by anarchists. Social justice. A group called Budding Roses, which is founded by a project of the Black Rose Rosa Negra Anarchist Foundation, will hold a free 2-week summer camp this week for students from 4th to 8th grade. What a great time. What kind of parent would do this?
Sounds like a trap.
A registration portal indicates that students at the camp will explore, quote, social justice issues, youth leadership, arts activism, games, and more. Among the resources listed by Budding Roses Camp on their website says protest. They're going to provide a protest and chant book, a tear gas for Portlanders guide, a guided walking tour of radical Portland, and other activist-related materials. A police abolition activity and white supremacy reflection activity are also listed within the Budding Roses curriculum. Dude. Who would actually send their kids to this? This is nuts.
Sounds like a grooming camp. Most
very much.
No, I mean, dude, like if you're dumb enough to send your child to that, you'll probably never see your child again at that point.
But I mean, the kids are this way because the parents are this way. No one grows up in a vacuum. I mean, you have to be provided leadership, right?
I'm an anarchist. I don't need someone else teaching my child. Yeah, I will do. I'm a different kind of anarchist than these assholes. These ones are like, communism. They think they confuse anarchism with communism. Me, I'm like, get the fucking government out of my life. Let me
Joey Little says it's now Nazi summer camp.
Yeah, you don't need to like you don't. Summer camp was my grandfather taking me out. Like, here's how you learn how to fish. Here's how you make a trot line. Here's how you kill a freaking turkey without the government knowing you killed a turkey.
Here's how you make a fucking fire.
Yes, that's anarchism to me.
And yes, it is, Christopher. Yes, it is actually paid by the taxpayers. So the city of Portland reportedly authorized the group to conduct its camp in city parks and has been granted the camp the Spirit of Portland Award for being the best nonprofit initiative of the year. So they're doing
of Portland.
They're doing the stuff in actual churches, like churches.
They're doing it? I heard park, like public park. Did you say that?
Yes. They've been authorized to set up their camp in public parks. But here, if you look at the bottom, they're doing it at a church, Peter and Paul Church, St. Peter and Paul Church on 247 Southeast 82nd Boulevard in Portland.
Yeah.
So these kids, along with the help of their parents and mentorship from the camp counselors, will be the next group of kids to trash a formerly attractive city. Portland's a great city. I've been to Portland before. It was, and this is like 20 years ago.
Austin was a great city when I used to go there, and I've been through there like twice over the last 10 years. I'm like, holy crap! What the?
Yeah, yeah. Really don't like the way that things are happening, but these are in small pockets, and I'm not excusing it. God, you need to stop it. We need to stop this shit. Fuck. All right. Hey, we're taking next week off, so you're coming to Texas.
I'm going to Texas, hang out with some of my buddies down there.
That's good, man. It's good to reconnect. Been
a while since I met them.
If you're out there, I mean, dude, take some time, reconnect with your brothers or sisters or whatever. Take some time. I mean, meet somewhere in the middle. Fuckers are like out on the East Coast, West Coast. Meet somewhere in the middle and just reconnect.
Yeah, have a meetup. Every now and then you need it just to make sure you're not the craziest motherfucker.
I think it's going to be a contest of who's going to be the craziest guy, but it's all going to be in the spirit of of a brotherhood thing. So anyway, we're out of here, man. We're going to be out of here. I got to let Pooky go. I could go for probably another hour of just rambling with my drunk ass.
I could too. I got to wake up at 4 o'clock.
I know, man. That sucked. How far do you have to drive to get to the airport?
That's like 40 minutes. It's not that far from us.
All right, Joey Little, please send me a message to WTF Nation Radio here, or Koz underscore or whatever, WTF Nation Radio, and I'll get in touch with you. So y'all take care. We're out of here. Pooky, have a great weekend, dude. And
week?
Have a great week. Yeah. We're going to be off next weekend. So next weekend, there's not going to be a show. And we're going to be back at the week after that. So y'all take care. Love you all. Thanks for hanging out, man.
Shots.
WTF Nation Radio.
My friend came to the door. She said, well, I was on the phone cooking me and my baby some breakfast. And she said, hey, something wrong. It's popping. I said, what? She said, yeah. I said, no. So the girl come downstairs. She come out her apartment with her baby with no shoes on. I said, oh, girl, it's cold outside. She said, something ain't right. I said, oh, man. She said, oh, man, the building is on fire. I said, no, what? I got my 3 kids and we bounced out. We ain't gonna be in no fire, not today.
The voice of U.S. Army, WTF Moments. This is WTF Nation Radio. This is WTF Nation Radio.